Hey everyone, this is Nick. I got a really interesting board order from one of my regular clients. The project is especially interesting because I'll be doing an inlay on the front edge of the board, and the design request itself is pretty unique from a composition standpoint. I don't usually get requests to make an inlay on the front edge of a board. In fact, this is the first time I've had a project like this, so it's something new for me. I've actually been meaning to build a special fixture on my CNC table that would let me do inlays on finished boards, but I just never got around to it. So when this order came in, I had to figure out a different way to make it work. Basically, I had to change the whole approach for how I'm making this particular board. Normally, I glue up my blanks along the short side. For example, if a cutting board is 12 by 19 inches, I glue it up along the 12-inch side with a little extra length for trimming. But in this case, since the inlay goes on the front edge, I glued it up along the wide side instead. After gluing up the blank, I cut it into strips and arranged them in the order I wanted. Then I chose the side that would be the front face of the board, and that's where I'll do the inlay. The client wanted his first initial and last name in a cursive font that we had already agreed on. For the inlay, I chose curly maple. Even though the inlay pieces are pretty small, you'll still be able to see that nice wavy grain and the light reflection when it catches the light. The pocket and the inlay are already milled, so it's time to glue them together. To remove the excess material from the inlay, I'll use the planer. There's nothing to worry about here. The risk of tear out is very low since it's phase grain. Plus, I'm not planing it all the way down. I'll leave the inlay sticking out just a little and then I'll cut it to the final size on the CNC. The board is glued up and fully dried. Now I can start surfacing both sides and then move on to cutting the outline. After cutting the outline, I go straight to machining the pocket for the inlay. By the way, here's what the client requested. I really like this idea, and I can already picture the number of elements and the overall composition. But before I start working on the design, I always ask the client to send me a rough sketch on paper, just to show how they imagine the layout. I got this photo from the client and he really put some effort into it. He found the images, printed them, and arranged them on the board to show his idea. I really appreciate that because it makes my job easier and helps me see how he imagines his future board. I'll skip the small details, but after a bit of back and forth, we agreed it would look much better as a complete scene rather than just a few simple outlines. This is the design I came up with and the client really liked how it turned out. It's simple but looks great as a complete composition. I especially like this style with just two colors, walnut for the board and maple for the inlay. It's clean, minimal, and still has a strong visual impact. The beauty of this design is that the pocket can be milled in one go and the inlay can then be glued in sections. With a design that covers almost the entire surface of the board, it's better to glue the inlay in at least 2 stages or even 3 to make the process easier and more manageable. It's really important to clean out the pocket thoroughly. This step should never be skipped. The inlay also needs to be carefully prepared for gluing, since even the smallest wood chips can prevent it from fitting properly. As I mentioned earlier, I'll be gluing this design in 3 stages. To prevent any glue from getting into the neighboring pocket, I cover it with masking tape. And now comes my favorite part, applying the mineral oil. This is when the wood really comes to life. The walnut gets a deeper, richer tone and the maple turns into a warm golden color. The grain stands out beautifully, and even though the board is made from small pieces, it all blends together perfectly and looks amazing. Here's the final result. I'm really happy with how it turned out. The inlay fits perfectly with no visible glue lines, and I think I managed to bring the client's idea to life really well. The front inlay also ties the whole composition together nicely. Let me know what you think in the comments, and thanks a lot for watching.